And that's where the expression forked tongue came from. They're calling the white man liars. They speak with a forked tongue because that was what they had called the reptilians. The reptilians were forked-tongued liars to the Indians. And so you've heard that expression, speaking with a forked tongue, and that's where it came from. Also, we've got a huge wake-up problem here in America, around the world. When you finally realize what's going on, that we're being targeted by aliens, not just for abduction and impregnation, to be used to breed hybrids, but also to be used as food. You know, how do you protect yourself from being targeted by these beings? You know, so far I've seen that orgone will keep the aliens away. I would like to hear from people who have orgone, who are abductees. I'd like to hear it from them themselves, because what I'm seeing is stuff that I've seen in the Bible codes, and my own experience, that aliens don't come in my yard. And that's why I get so harassed by the invisible human military. I would like to hear from people who do have orgone that have been abducted, to see if it has actually thwarted alien abductions, because they don't have necessarily even have to come into your yard to abduct you from your house. They can levitate you from your house with their beam light technology. They can hover above your house and just beam you, levitate you right up into the aircraft. And then the problem being is most people don't have many memories of this until many years later, or they start asking questions as to why they have scars on their skin. So I can't say that without a doubt the orgone would prevent abductions. I don't know. I need to hear more about it. But I do know that it will burn aliens, and that they can't stand being around it. It doesn't mean that they won't. In fact, what will knock down alien crafts, and they have found what will knock down, is these EMPs, these directed energy weapons, these electromagnetic pulse weapons. Any kind of a 6 million watt microwave pulse weapon, radar weapon, will knock down a UFO. If you can target on, get a UFO on your radar, lock it on, and then increase the output of the radar, it supposedly just throws the entire UFO into a shambles. It loses control and crashes. And so something as simple as radar weapons will crash a UFO. And was listening, hearing about all these UFOs that have crashed because of the weapons that the military has found that will work against crashing UFOs. And you gotta wonder, why don't they just, put up these installations around cities, around the countrysides, instead of watching these aliens and seeing what exactly they're doing, prevent people from being abducted to begin with. Because it goes into something much more insidious that NASA is keeping secret from the public, apparently, is the fact that there is going to be a huge harvest on Earth coming up. And so the militaries of the world are watching these UFOs coming in because they want to make sure they're just abducting 1 or 2 people that night, and it's not time for the great harvest. They're all in fear of this great harvest that's coming. And so you might think, well, that must be the rapture, because we always knew that was a false theology. You really have to twist Scripture and ignore a lot of other Scriptures to get a pre-trib rapture. And some people not even calling it the rapture, they're calling it the capture, because all these thousands and millions of people will be harvested by aliens, and the church has already lied and deceived them over the centuries as false dogma, so that the people think it's a rapture, when it's actually nothing but a huge alien harvest. Now you look at the 7 different churches listed in Revelation, and the Lord promised to protect the Church of Philadelphia from the hour of tribulation that comes upon the world, the Church of Philadelphia itself being in the minority of all the other churches present that day. So even that wouldn't qualify for this huge harvest that is coming up, because the numbers would be too small. The actual rapture of the church, in the Bible, he talks about the rapture of the 144,000. We're looking at a harvest of millions that the governments of the world are in fear of. And so that wouldn't qualify. Not just for that one single event. And so there's a harvest of millions and millions of people that are going to disappear off the earth. And it's not a biblical rapture, folks. It's an alien harvest, and they're going to be taking these millions of people to their meatpacking plant on the moon. And so that's what has them that's what has them in fear. If anybody has any official documents on the meat processing plant on the moon, if you could send me that, I'd put it on thewatcherfiles.com. I'm sure we'd all be interested in hearing more about the structures on the moon, in particular the meat processing plants, the slaughterhouse that's there. I know that through the grapevines that even in the Roswell crash of 1947 in New Mexico, that in the downed UFO, which happened to be downed accidentally, that's how they figured out, because it had passed over a military radar installation, and the radar jammed the UFO crashed, and so that's how they kind of stumbled upon how to take down these UFOs, was with radar. But I had always heard that in the UFO they found Air Force uniforms and various human body parts in the UFO. And so indicative of these aliens feeding on human beings. Another thing I want to talk about is not just this mothership fleet that's coming, because, folks, you know what, if you look up in the sky and you see these huge starships up there every night, they don't move, they're kind of fixed. And sometimes you wonder, is it a space station? Is it a satellite? It's the same place almost every night. But they're like yellow-orangish stars, and they're huge, and these are starships. And so all these other alien UFOs, these pods, these 1- and 2-man craft that come out of these starships, it sounds like Star Wars, I know. They come down and do their abduction work on Earth. And they also do a lot of surveillance, reconnaissance. They want to know what defense weapons we're coming up with, so they know what they're fighting against with humanity, with mankind. As far as they're concerned, we're their stocking, we're their food harvest planet. And so, if we come up with weapons to fight against them, they come up with weapons to neutralize. It's kind of been an ongoing war, secret war, between our governments and the aliens, and coming up with weapons and counteracting weapons. Supposedly these aliens have technology where they can melt an M16 rifle from miles away. They can turn off missile silos, the computers, so they can't be activated. Nuclear missiles can't be activated. And they mess with their weapons all the time. And you'll hear one of the biggest pushes in the media today is de-arming, getting rid of our guns. Europe got rid of them. Australia got rid of them, banned them. And they've been working on America. And that is a total alien agenda, folks. And they say, well, yeah, they want to disarm us so they can implement martial law. And now you see the real grim picture, because, you know, like I've been saying for years, thewatcherfiles.com, our government is reptilians' children. They're hybrid alien children. They work for the alien council that rules over the earth. They want you disarmed. The aliens want you de-armed so that you cannot defend them when they come to harvest the people on Earth. They can be killed with weapons. They can be killed with electrical charged weapons as well. And also certain gases can kill these aliens. And so that's why they want the populations de-armed, so they can't defend themselves against an alien invasion. And we know, according to the Bible in Joel chapter